A riot of colour does not even begin to describe the lady sitting opposite me. She's our listed Londoner of the day. She's Sue Kreitzman. So we know that you're very much an East End girl. So to pick your favourite neighbourhood, you're going to have to be quite precise, I think.
Well, I love the Brick Lane area. I love the area all around Old Spitalfields Market. That is my home from home. And Brick Lane, and it's all the side streets around Brick Lane, and then part of Hackney as well, where all the street art is, all the weirdos, and I say that with love in my heart, because I consider myself one too. That's where we all are. That's where we all hang out. And the thing is, the West End is so last century. And now my part of the East End, Brick Lane and all that area, that has become the center of the universe.
Does it worry you, though, that it is being gentrified, it is being... And in some ways, artists are part of that process.
Well, the only constant in a big city is that it's going to change.
Yeah.
And the whole, the whole action is going to change. So I won't say it upsets me. Sometimes I worry about it a little bit. I think that it's become so cutting edge, it's going to hurt itself. Or as Will Self said, it's so hip, it needs a replacement.
Well, funnily enough, though, I mean, you're right. I mean, I've lived here all my life, and I've seen London move around.
Yeah.
My kids now hang out in Tottenham, or they hang out in New Cross, or places I wouldn't even have gone to.
No, it's like in New York City, they now hang out in the Lower East Side. You think, well, I don't want to say the word because I'm not allowed to say it.
No, don't.
I won't say it. But that's where, my grandparents, my great-grandparents came. They couldn't wait to get out. And now that's... So, yes, these neighborhoods suddenly become chic. And it's because starving artists move to the Brick Lane area, to the area where I live in E3. We make it fascinating. We make it better. And then everybody wants to live there.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
What are you going to pick as your favourite building?
My favorite building is actually in another part of London entirely, and it's the Horniman Museum.
Oh, it's great.
I wanted to move near me. We have the V&A Museum of Childhood, which I really love. It's fantastic.
In Bethnal Green?
Yes, very, very close to where I actually live. Could we trade? I'll give you that museum. You give me the Horniman. And the Horniman has an actual, real totem pole outside, and it has that Victorian, lacy, enormous conservatory, and inside, three, not one, not two, not three voodoo altars from different parts of the world. They are so inspiring to me, and all the collections in there. That's my favorite. I wish it was closer, but it isn't.
What's the famously misshapen animal that they have?
That's
there?
the walrus.
Yeah.
The walrus has been retired.
Oh, no.
Yes, and I'm wondering, are they going to try to redo him, or are they just going to zhuzh him up a little bit? I don't know. But for now, he's been retired.
Okay, so the Horniman is your favorite. Let's look at the other end of the spectrum and a building that you don't like.
I was thinking about that. What building do I hate? And I'm not even going to bother to answer because there's so much hate and dislike in the world right now. I'm not going to waste my time hating a building.
All right, but sort of style of building you're not so fond of.
But, the
bit grey?
Well, there's nothing we can do about colour in architecture, unfortunately. So
because you see, some people would say London's a very grey city.
Yeah, but that's different. When we're talking about stone and, that's different. That's natural. I can live with that as long as there's color inside. And I actually like the new brutalism.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
I like it very much.
That extension to the Tate Modern is brilliant, I think. The stairway going up is glorious.
I agree with you. And I first visited London in the mid-'60s. And the South Bank, the whole South Bank thing was new. And everybody was talking about, this new architecture. And we went to see an opera there. They don't do opera there anymore. And I like it. So I can't say there's a building I actually hate. There's all these Starchitect buildings. Sometimes I might sneer a little bit at them, but I can't say I actually hate them.
Okay, then. Rather, we'll go positive. We'll pick the best view in London.
The best view. Yeah, okay, this is good. Sometimes I go back to Cambridge to visit my husband, who stubbornly stays in Cambridge. We're still married, but I go stay with him, then I come back. And as I drive back, because I can't take the train anymore because I'm old and decrepit, and then you pass over a hill, and suddenly, like Oz, a mirage in front of you, you see the skyline. this is fairly new.
I know exactly where you are.
Yes.
Because my daughter was in Cambridge, so we did that journey a lot. And there's one moment where you go up a little and suddenly it's like the Wizard of Oz. It's like there's the Emerald City.
Yes, exactly. And I say, okay, it exists. It's not in my imagination. Yes, I'm going back home. That's my landmark. That's my view. That's my favorite view.
I'm going to make this up and I'm going to get lots of listeners telling me I'm completely wrong. I think where you are then is somewhere near Ingatstone. There's this one particular bit, I think it's on the M11 or whatever road you're on. I'm not very good at those things.
No, it is on the M11, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're basically in Ingatstone and suddenly there's London. Did you fall in love with London straight away?
Yes, I fell in love with London in 1966 or 1967.
Wow.
It was our first trip abroad. We came
That
for
was
2
swinging
weeks.
London, of course.
That's what I love. And we were going to spend some time in Bath and go here and go there, but we hit London, could not bear to leave London. So we had 2 very intense weeks there. And I looked at my husband, we were both very young. He was a PhD student, I was a school teacher, and I said, maybe we'll live here one day. Yeah, ha, ha, ha. And guess what? It happened. It happened.
Brilliant. Favorite open space, a park or a garden? I'm intrigued what you're going to go for.
Okay, well, my answer's probably a little crazy, but I'm not a nature girl at all.
Not me.
So, I mean, I would pick Vicky Park just for loyalty because it's near me. But my actual favorite open space is I open my back door, I'm in my little garden, and then in my little garden is a big shed and a small shed and lots of tchotchkes and kitsch on the walls of the sheds outside. That is my favorite open space. I've got a table, little chairs. Why do I need to go to a park?
You've got tchotchkes. I haven't heard tchotchkes in a very long time.
I am very devoted to tchotchkes. I am the queen of tchotchkes. But my tchotchkes are the best tchotchkes, and they're very, very kitsch. So that's my open space. I'm not a nature girl, honey. I really am not a nature girl.
Lots of people always pick Hampstead Heath, which is great and it's wonderful, but it's a little too natural for me.
Yeah, I can take only so much nature, and then I got to escape.
Okay, let's go to a shop instead. Your favourite or most interesting shop?
Yeah, I like individually owned shops. I actually like flea markets, and my favorite is the flea market on Thursday at Old Spitalfields Market. That's like one enormous shop, and you can't go with a shopping list. You never know what you're going to find. But I also like Wall and Jones in Hackney, and that's Ali Wall, and she designs the clothes herself she reuses old things, but such elegance, such color, such beauty. She is a genius. I love that shop. I also like Tatty Divine. Listen, I'm only going to list a few. Tatty Divine in Seven Dials. I love Tatty Divine. They've been around a long time, and they are also geniuses.
Because your attire is very
You're looking for a polite word, aren't you? Yes, please continue. Please continue. Yes.
operatic.
It's always operatic, and I make
Where do you make it yourself?
Yes, I do. This is a neck shrine.
Right.
And I've made thousands of them. I don't sell them, but they are in museums, and sometimes I'll trade with another artist. And they are actually shrines to wear around your neck. You have to be a brave person to wear one. And they're always cultural mashups made out of folklore from many places. This one is Mexican and African, and I have lots of those. And I collect fabrics. I don't buy ready-made, even though I love Wall and Jones doesn't have ready-made clothes. She makes it all herself. But I make everything myself. I do have a guy on the Roman Road who does the stitching for me. So everything is, I choose the fabrics, I choose the way it's going to be. So I am a complete original.
Perfect. We love a complete original. We're going to go to a pub, a bar, or a restaurant. Where would you take us?
Oh, yes. Well, again, we're in the East End. On Bethnal Green Road, on the corner of Chiltern Street, there is a Turkish restaurant run by a family. It's standalone, and it's called Tasvirin.
Tasvirin? I don't know it.
Firin. Everybody that I take there, I took some friends there yesterday, absolutely adore it. The people are so nice. The food is so good. It's fresh. It's healthy. Everything they make to order. We love a salad. My son and I go there once a week, and I'll bring my friends there. So there's a salad called esme that's a little bit like a Mexican salsa, but of course with Turkish pomegranate molasses and za'atar. And we say, yes, they know we want Esme. So we walk in and we can hear chop, 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 chop. They're playing our song. They're making the Esme fresh. Everything about that place is wonderful. And there's a place in Old Spitalfields Market called Funky Cellar.
Right.
They do a lot of cheese. You go there all the time. You must try it. They're famous for their cheeses. When you walk in, it's like a cheese cellar. You can smell it. And again, they're very friendly. They will take care of you. The baguettes are great. It's light lunches and charcuterie and all of that. It's amazing. So it's a standalone place. The people are nice. They'll take care of you. The cheeses are out of this world.
You mentioned your son. Is he a Londoner?
Yes, he's been also ever since he graduated from university, so it must be maybe 27, 30 years. And he and his wife live quite close to me, which is nice. So we go to Tosfiren once a week, mother and son, eating the Esme.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to meet my wife's racially Chinese, so we're going to go and have dim sum in Chinatown directly
That's
after
also
this.
very good. Yes, we love dim sum.
Okay, so that's your pub, bar, or restaurant. Now I want you to remember one great night out. Could be recently or far back, whenever it is.
There are so many great nights out in London, and I'm not a club person at all, but just so many things to do with art. And I'm going to go back 9 or 10 years. Selfridges, and I'm not a big fan of department stores, but Selfridges will live in my heart forever. They used to do something every year called Bright Young Things, and they'd have people who were on the cusp of greatness, who were very, very creative, who had a lot of potential, and each one of them would get a window, because Selfridges is famous for their windows. Yeah. So one year they decided, let's mix it up a little bit. Let's do bright old things.
Well, you're definitely bright.
I'm bright and I'm old. I was 10 years younger then, but that was still, I was in my 70s. So I was one of them, and they came to my flat, and I thought they were going to faint. It's very intense. So they took my entire downstairs, and they put it in the biggest window on Oxford Street.
How brilliant.
And they even had a bookshelf with some of my cookbooks, because my cookbook career was over by then, because I was being an artist. And that was there for 2 months. And the opening night, when the window went live, and all kinds of dignitaries were there, and one of the people at Selfridges says, this is the best window we've ever had in the whole history of Selfridges. I mean, it will live in my mind forever. It was magnificent. And people would practically fall off the bus on Oxford Street trying to see it. People came from foreign lands to come see it. And they also had a boutique with a lot of my stuff in the boutique. If I had to pick an unforgettable night, it was the night
that's a pretty
the
good
window
one.
went live.
Did they give you your house back?
Eventually, yes. I was living, the first time in my life, I was a minimalist for 2 months, and then it all came back to me. Yeah, it all came back to me.
I mean, I have seen pictures of your house, and it is extraordinary, and it clearly reflects your own personality very much.
Yes, some people get scared, but most people like it.
Okay, I'm going to give you a day off. How would you spend a lovely day in London town?
Okay, I'm already talking about this, so I don't mean to be boring, but, the Native Americans say, walk a mile in my moccasins and you will understand my life. Walk a mile in my Crocs and you will end up in a flea market. So please, take me to Old Spitalfields Market, take me to any flea market, Portobello Road. Yep. I really like Old Spitalfields best. Or there's also the Princess May boot fair, which is like a big...
I don't know that.
That's in Stoke Newington.
Right.
But that's what I'll do for my whole life on any day, day off, day on. That's what I want to do. It's like urban archaeology. You're uncovering things from the past. You're finding there are things that you really need that you never even knew you need. I find fabrics. I find things for my clothing, for my neck shrines. It's heaven to me, and it's very affordable. And
the other thing is, where do you put it all?
There's always room. There's always
You
room.
tell my wife that when I buy another record.
No, records, yes, my son can tell you about that. He collects records. And there's always room. And somebody came in and looking at and says, "Oh, so I suppose it's one thing comes in and other things go out." I said, "What, are you crazy?" No, one thing comes in, it's just another thing. Of course I don't. Give me a break. And I'm really not a hoarder because everything is dusted. I have wonderful helpers. Everything is dusted. Everything is curated. Everything is neat. But there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff. Okay, that's a lovely day off.
That's my day off.
If you've got someone visiting and they've never been to London before, I don't know where they've come from, maybe New York or wherever it is, where would you take them?
I would take them to Brick Lane.
Yeah.
And I would buy them a curry because, come on, that's something very special.
You could get a bagel, but...
Well, yeah, now they deliver.
Do they?
My favorite bagel bakery, bagel, my favorite bagel, they
Let
deliver.
bagels be bagels.
It's bagels. It's bagels. So but they could have a bagel but the best thing is a curry because that's not something they get where they come from. And then I would just take them up and down the sideways and the byways and the side streets to see the street art and the paste ups. It is I'm not going to disrespect the Tate. I love the museums in this town. We're so lucky with museums. But it's this enormous outdoor museum that is always changing, always colorful. Sometimes it's intriguing. Sometimes it's just beautiful. Sometimes it's disturbing.
And sometimes it's a bit ugly, but that's all right as
Ugly.
well, I think.
Yes, well, define ugly.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I don't consider it ugly,
Because
but I know what you mean.
London is not Paris, it's not Venice, it isn't kind of a piece and beautiful and elegant, but that's the glory of it, I think, that juxtaposition of the...
Yes, some things are quite challenging.
Yeah.
But it's always colorful and it's always exciting. And you know the word horripilate?
No.
It makes the hairs on my arms and the hairs on my head stand up straight.
Oh, wow, what was that word again? What a
horripilate.
Horripilate.
I feel it viscerally.
How brilliant. I've written that down. Horripilate. You do love this place, don't you?
I am a Londoner. I love London. I don't want to be in New York. I don't want to be anywhere else. I don't want to be in Venice. Well, somebody wrote a telegram to Dorothy Parker and said, "I'm in Venice, streets full of water. Please advise." So where I am, the streets are full of art. Come and look at it.
Okay, that's all lovely, right? But we know this city does occasionally it doesn't work. What's the worst journey ever?
Okay, yeah, well, of course, I don't take public transportation anymore because I'm too decrepit. But yes, everybody has a story about the tube and the bus and all that. My worst journey is when I'm leaving London.
Right.
And my best journey is when I'm coming back.
My daughter, who was living in Cambridge, as I said, for 5 years, I remember picking her up and we were driving back one time and we got onto the Finchley Road, which is not the loveliest part of London, but we were driving and she suddenly started bursting into song and she sang, "Take me home, country roads," because she knew she was coming back to London.
Home is home. And, but London, it gets in your blood in a good way, in a very good way. And I'm always happy to be back.
Good. What's your personal London landmark?
Well, I'm being very boring here because the landmark is when I travel and I see it. I see it in front of me. I see Oz rising up from the mist. And then I know that I'm in London. But I would say that's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Because you're very, not just a Londoner, you're very specific. You're an East Londoner.
I am.
You're an East Ender.
I am.
Is there something for you? Would it be Brick Lane that sums up East End? Would it be, what would it be?
No, because East End is a big panoply of lots of stuff.
Yeah.
So Brick Lane is quite important. It is getting a little touristy, but that's okay. And you can go off the side streets. But it's Hackney and Dalston and the Roman Road area, which is where I live.
My Uncle Mac used to have a stall on
and
the Roman Road.
It's the whole, yes, you said.
Yeah.
And that's been
Go
around
right
for generations. And it's still there. And it changes, but it's still there, and it's still a very useful market. So it's the street markets, and it's the people. It's the people. And much as I try to speak Cockney, I sound like an idiot when I do. And I still have my accent, but it has softened. And when I go back to New York to visit, they say, "Oh, you sound so English." No, I don't, my dear. No, I don't. But it has softened a little bit.
Okay. Who are you going to pick as your favourite fictional Londoner?
Okay. There's so many of them, you know. But my favorite is Eliza Scarlett from Miss Scarlet and the Duke.
I thought it was Eliza Doolittle, but
No, she's okay. She's okay. But I've got my own Eliza Scarlett from, it's a TV series.
I don't know it.
Co-produced by Irish Public TV and PBS in America. And it's about a female detective in Victorian London.
Oh, wow.
Who inherits her father, who's a deceased detective agency. She is a firecracker. She's very stubborn. She's obviously way ahead of her time. And my second favorite is her sidekick, her black sidekick, Moses. The two of them are my favorite. And I think that's...
What's the show called again?
Miss Scarlet and the Duke.
Miss Scarlet and the Duke.
And
I learn something every day on this
It's
show.
so good. And I can't, there's already been 3 series. The 4th series is imminent. I can't wait. She is my kind of woman, and it's really fun. It's supposed to be Victorian England, and of course it was the terrible fog and all of that. But if they showed it in the fog, we'd just be looking through a dirty window. So every once in a while, there's a little whiff of fog that comes across just to remind you, yes, this is supposed to be London. It's really good. I think you would like it. It's really, really good. And it's very, very London, but London of the past.
Okay, pick your favorite London film or book or play.
Yeah, I have a very specific one, and it is A Kid for Two Farthings.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And it is Petticoat Lane, and it was filmed right there.
Yeah.
Fashion Street. It's the way it was. And
I haven't watched it for many years, but yeah.
one of the film programs on TV plays it every once in a while. I first saw it many, many years ago before I even lived here. And it's Petticoat Lane, it's Fashion Street, it's all of that area, and you actually see it the way it is because the history is so, well, everywhere the history is layered, but especially in the East End because you had the Huguenots, and then you had the Irish, and then you had the Jews, and then you had the
Bengali
Banglatown, and now you have the hipsters. There are hipsters everywhere getting in everybody's way. So, but you see a specific part of the old Jewish East End, and it's a very poignant story.
Do you know the synagogue on Princelet Street?
Yeah.
19 Princelet Street.
Yeah.
It's an extraordinary place.
It's old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that particular part of London. It's a palimpsest, isn't it? You can see all the layers.
And you do see the layers because you can see the Huguenot houses with the weavers' windows up there, and you can see little hints of Jewish London. So do you mean the synagogue that's on the 2nd or 3rd floor?
It's at the
of
back
the building?
in a private house, and there's a sort of a private synagogue in the back. It's just extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you right in the kishkas. Excuse me, it gets you right in the inner gushies. It gets you right in the heart.
I speak fairly good Yiddish, but
but in the East End, it sort of comes naturally because there's so much Jewish history, there's so much Huguenot history, and I am a woman's planer. So when I'm taking my friends all around, I never shut up. And sometimes I can see their eyes rolling up in their head, but that's what you get.
You might have another volunteer because Marie in West Hampstead wants to know when and what time you meet at Spitalfields Market for the ColourWalk.
Oh, hello. Yes, welcome. We start to gather around 1. Sometimes we're even there around 12 because we like to troll the markets before we actually are, posing for our pictures. And at 2 o'clock, we have a group picture.
Okay.
So sometimes we have as many photographers as we have color walkers. So come around.
Is it primarily ladies?
Oh, no. We have men, we have women, we have everything in between. we have babies, we have dogs, and even the dogs get dressed up. Everybody, anything is welcome.
How brilliant.
Yeah. So please, is it Maria? Please come and say hello to me.
Okay, final question, and it involves time travel. You can go backwards in time or forwards in time, and you can return to the present day. We're not going to maroon you in the past or the future.
No, if I can come back. But,
Which way are you going to go?
I would go to the mid-'60s when Carnaby Street was swinging, and London was swinging, and the King's Road in Chelsea was I was there for 2 weeks. Absolutely crazy. It's so calm and corporate now.
Yeah.
But I would go there. What do they say? London swings like a pendulum do. I would go there. I want to shop in Carnaby Street, so I have to have the right cash in my hand. And the only thing is, because I was there, I have to be careful not to meet myself because, you know, the whole time, the whole time space continuum would implode, and I don't want to be responsible for that.
Oh, we're not going to blame you.
It would be my fault. So I have to just stay out of my own way. And and also the East End, we did a lot of trolling around in the East End. It was a mess. It was very Jewish. We saw dead rats in front of the butcher shop. But why did I fall in love with it so deeply? I want to see that. I want to see Carnaby Street. I want to see Chelsea. And I want to see the South Bank brutal buildings when they were new, as I did then.
What a wonderful trip that would be.
Oh, yeah.
And what wonderful time it's been in your company. Sue Kreitzman, listed Londoner, honorary Londoner, very much one of our own.
Thank you. The greatest compliment you can give me. Thank you.